Well, after thinking about it for a while, I think I've decided that instead of this ECU, big clunky computer, living behind the firewall here, which would be really nice and convenient, I think it would just be easier if this ECU lived right there in the engine bay. That's primarily because I don't know, I mean, it'd be a huge pain in the butt to drill a hole and stick these through the firewall. I either have to drill a hole that's that big and then find a grommet that's going to accommodate that, or I've got to de-pin each one of these, stick the wire through the hole, and then pin it back. I still might do that, but I think that's going to be a project for another day. I think I'm going to take the quick and easy route, and that ECU is going to live right there. There's plenty of room, and I got a bracket for it. Now that I know where this ECU is going to live, I can now start routing all these wires and cutting them to length. For instance, that's the water temperature that goes to the ECU as well as to the gauge, and that goes on that side of the motor. One thing I think I am going to do though is, this is the plug-in to the ECU, which is what translates the electrical signal from the electronic gas pedal, goes through this and then to the computer. I think that I can let this live on this side of the firewall somewhere, but that means that I do have to get this plug through this firewall, which would mean drilling an additional hole. Somehow I got to get this thing through. Maybe I can de-pin this and stick it through a standard size hole that came with the kit. I do have an extra grommet that came on the wiring harness, because once this plugs into the ECU behind the firewall, then there's a cord that goes direct down to the gas pedal. That would clean the engine bay up a little bit. So this one run here, which I'm trying to consolidate, contains water temperature to the computer, water temperature to the gauge, and oil temperature to the gauge, which all lives on this side of the engine. Unfortunately, this isn't quite long enough, so I got to extend these wires, and I'll have it go underneath the engine mount. But I think that's a pretty good start. These two wires here I've labeled pull back because these can be pulled back behind the firewall. This one is electric choke power, and then this one is fan thermal switch. So this, when this is grounded, that turns on the electric fan. The radiator that I got does not have a provision for a thermal switch, a water switch in their sending unit. But this LS setup, it's actually switched from the computer. So these will get pulled back through the wiring harness. This will get coiled up and used for something else one day. The thermal switch will be connected from the ECU. And this is extra that can be cut off. I got to shorten the length. This is the oil pressure, and I think this is grounds. This one ground, this is the Ron Francis wiring harness. This one ground splits off into 3 separate wires. That's kind of weird. I'm not sure where they want all that to go. Why not just ground it once? And I may pull this one back as well and ground it to the frame of this dash to keep a cleaner look. Yeah. But that pretty much completes this side of the engine. This needs to be cleaned up. These need to be extended and then terminated. Oil pressure needs to be shortened up, and then these wires need to be pulled back. So this side of the engine is done. This also needs to be shortened with the new terminator on there, no problem. That'll all happen all at once. Now I gotta tackle the other side, and then this rat's nest right here. Jeez. One more thing I should mention on this side of the engine is for this O2 sensor, sure would be nice if I could route this thing under the header and have it come out right here. Maybe I could put an insulated clip right here in front, maybe down low like this. I don't know, I'll have to look at the other side as opposed to having it come up and over. But it definitely can't rest on that header anywhere. Yeah. So that's something else I gotta figure out. O2 sensor. Well, I know this is not the prettiest solution, but I think it's good for now. This bundle here is all gonna live on the other side of this firewall. This is the ODB2 port here. Drill a hole, it's gonna be stuck through there somehow. This is for the TAC module gas pedal. And then these are the wires for the adapted engine wiring harness, which I'm only needing to use 2. Key 12 volts and the TAC. The rest of these I don't use. Fuel pump, I'm using the existing Ron Francis wiring harness that came with the kit to activate the fuel pump. Brake light switch. And I think that's for like the torque converter. This says 2 speedometer input. I may still have to research that a little bit. Anyway, all 3 of these and this one, which is the to kick the fan on. This grounds out in the box. That is also going to go through a new grommet right here. And I know that this would look so good if this whole thing went through the firewall. Man, that would be nice and clean. But man, I'm not willing to do it right now. I would have to de-pin all of these one by one, stick them through, and then re-pin it. Ugh. Also, I don't have a great place for this fuse block here, which is dedicated to just the engine wiring harness. I don't have a good spot for that, but I think next summer I will actually put this whole thing through the firewall, and in doing that I'll extend all of these wires and I will get rid of all of this rat's nest, all of the extra. And then the ECU could live on this side of the firewall, but for now I think that's gonna have to be a pretty good solution. Yeah,